All right, guys, we're on the back side of day 8 notes. And in number 2, it says that the coordinates of triangle ABC are -2, +2. B is at +3, +5. And C is at +4, +2. If you have a straight edge, use it. If not, try your best. Okay. And then it's going to ask me to graph and state the coordinates of triangle A double prime, B double prime, C double prime, the image of triangle ABC after the composition. So we have to do a reflection over the y-axis and a translation of 2, -3. And you can see that they're using the different notation with the double set of parentheses instead of the open circle. But because this is grouped inside those inner set of parentheses, we are going to go ahead and do the translation first. And so that translation, guys, is going to move it 2 to the right and 3 down. Hopefully you guys remember how I like to do translations. Instead of moving each point 2 to the right and 3 down, I just go up here and put a +2 underneath all my x's to move it 2 to the right, and a little -3 to move them 3 down. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my new coordinates. So A prime will be at, let's see, -2 + 2 is going to give me a 0. 2 - 3 is going to give me a -1. Right. B prime will be at 3 + 2, which is 5. 5 - 3, which is 2. And then C prime, 4 + 2 is 6. And 2 - 3 is -1. All right, so A prime is at 0, -1, which would be right here. B prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, +2, so right here. And C prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1, so right here. Again, remember, guys, that your triangle shouldn't be changing size or shape. It should look like the same exact triangle that he just slid. All right, so double check, make sure everything looks the same so we didn't make any mistakes. And now we're going to take that triangle that we just got, and we're going to now do the reflection over the y-axis. So here's our y-axis. And we're going to see that A is actually already on the y-axis, so it's going to stay on the y-axis. So A double prime will stay exactly where he is. Okay. B prime, though, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units away. So 5 on the other side would put B prime here. Double prime, excuse me. And then C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the other side, and this will be C double prime. And so our triangle will look like this. All right, we'll state our coordinates. So A double prime is going to be exactly the same where it is. And that point, guys, would be called invariant if they asked. All right, so if they asked who would be the invariant point in this situation, we would say A prime or A double prime or the point 0, -1. B double prime is now located at -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5, +2. And C double prime is located at -6, -1. And so I think we did everything they asked. We graphed, right? And we stated the coordinates of our A double prime, B double prime, C double prime. And so I think we're good. All right, let's try number 3. It says describe a sequence of transformations that will map triangle ABC onto triangle DEF as shown below. All right, so we want to start with triangle ABC and we want to get it onto triangle DEF. And I think you guys can see that if I were to flip my triangle, that it would be in a good position to slide right onto triangle DEF. I don't know if you guys can visualize that, but sometimes that's what you have to do with transformations. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over the easiest line that I can. I think technically you could flip it over any horizontal line here. There are different ways you could do a sequence of transformations, and sometimes there's only one way, but I'm going to see if this way works. What I like to do is I always like to draw in like the middle image. We got the first image, we got the final image, but we don't have the middle image. I'd like to see that middle image. It helps me visualize things a little bit better. So if A flips over my x-axis here, A prime would go here. B is 3 units above also, so B would go 3 units below. And C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C prime would be here. So let me see. But I think if I just push this triangle over, A will fall onto D like it's supposed to because they're the first letter of the triangle. B will fall on E, which is supposed to happen because they're the second letter of each triangle. And C would slide over to F. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say number 1, we did a reflection over the x-axis. And then our second transformation is going to be a slide, which is a translation. And let's just make sure we know how far to slide. Remember, A has to go on to D. So it's got to slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units to the right. And so that would be a positive 6. And then it doesn't have to go any up or down. And so we're going to put a 0 there. So the translation of 6, 0 is 6 units to the right. And I think that would be good, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. All right. And so if we wanted to write this out in a composition like they have been doing up above, we can either use the parentheses or the open circle symbol. But we have to remember that the second one we write is actually the first one we did. All right. So we'll start with the translation of 6, 0. We'll use the little open circle, meaning that that's following the reflection over the x-axis. And there's our composition. Okay, good. All right, let's take a look at number 4. 4A and 4B, it says using the diagrams, write the rule of the composition. All right, so we were just kind of doing that up above. We just have to do it 2 more times. And so let's take a look at the first picture. We have to get, okay, they use primes in this one. So we're starting with this triangle up here in the first quadrant. And we have to get it to that triangle down there. I think hopefully you guys can see that there's a flip involved. Because D right now is up and D prime is down in the second picture. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did in the last picture. And I'm going to try to flip him around. And then I'm hoping that I can just slide him into place with a translation. All right. So again, I like to see the middle image so I know what it looks like and exactly where it needs to then slide into, okay? So F is right now 2 units above, so F prime will go 2 units below. E is 1 unit above, so 1 unit below. And D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right at the bottom. And if I connect, I can kind of see the middle image here. And before I forget what I did, I'm going to go ahead and write it down. So first thing I did was a reflection over the x-axis. And now I'm going to go ahead and do a translation. I'm going to slide this triangle, hopefully, right into place. So let's see. D would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units to the left. So this would be a translation of -6, comma, 1, 2, 3 units up. Up is +3. And I think each letter would be following the same rule. I'm just going to check F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So if we do that, this would work. And so our composition would look something like this. Remember, the first one you did actually has to go second. So it would be a translation of -6, 3, following a reflection over the x-axis. And there's our composition. All right. Last one. And we have to get our triangle QRS, which is up here in quadrant 2. We have to get it to go onto triangle Q prime, R prime, S prime. And I think hopefully you guys can see that it needs to be flipped around because right now S is on the left-hand side and we need it to be on the right-hand side of the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my triangle over the y-axis and see what it looks like. Okay. So this will be where R prime is. Q prime would be here. And S prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would be here. And so hopefully you guys can see that by flipping it over the y-axis. It's a reflection over the y-axis. All I have to do is push this triangle down. And by pushing it, I mean sliding it, which is a translation. And since we don't have to go any left or right, we're going to put a 0 there. And then we can see that all it has to go is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And down 6 would be a -6. All right. And you could check each point, but they're all going to be the same. And so we're going to go ahead and say that we're going to do a translation of 0, -6 following a reflection over the y-axis. And there's our composition. All right. Again, compositions can be done differently, but I always try to do a flip, a reflection over a nice axis, and then try to slide it into place. All right. Hopefully that helps. And I will see you guys on the next day of notes.